There are seasons in life when rejection seems to follow you everywhere. It shows up in the quiet moments after opportunities slip away, in the silence of people who once promised to support you, and in the painful realization that the path you expected to walk suddenly disappears. For many chosen ones, rejection is not a rare experience. It becomes a repeating pattern that feels confusing and deeply personal. You may have asked yourself many times why doors keep closing, why people misunderstand your intentions, or why your efforts seem to be ignored. It can feel like the world has already decided your place and written your story without your permission. But what if the rejection you experienced was never meant to destroy you? What if it was quietly preparing you for something that required strength, resilience, and a deeper level of awareness? Rejection has a way of stripping away the illusions that comfort often creates. When everything is easy, people rarely discover who they truly are. It is in the difficult moments, the times when you feel pushed aside or overlooked, that your inner strength begins to grow. Every rejection forces you to look inward, to question your purpose, and to develop a mindset that does not rely on external approval. Many chosen ones go through a period where they feel like outsiders. They may notice they think differently, feel things more deeply, or question the systems and expectations that others follow without hesitation. This difference often leads to misunderstanding. People around you might not see your vision or understand your intentions. Instead of encouragement, you may receive criticism or doubt. Instead of support, you may face distance or silence. These experiences can make rejection feel even heavier because it comes from places where acceptance once seemed certain. Yet within this pattern lies a hidden form of preparation. Rejection teaches independence in ways that comfort never could. It teaches you how to stand on your own when no one is applauding. It strengthens your faith in your path even when others cannot see where you are going. Every closed door forces you to grow beyond the version of yourself that depended on it. Slowly, almost invisibly, you begin to develop a resilience that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. Sometimes rejection also acts as protection. The opportunities that slipped away, the relationships that ended, the spaces that no longer welcomed you may have felt like losses in the moment. But time has a way of revealing that certain paths were never meant to carry you to your true destination. Being removed from the wrong environment creates space for the right one to appear. When you are chosen for something greater, the journey often includes moments where you are separated from places that cannot support who you are becoming. The process can feel lonely because preparation often happens in silence. While others appear to move forward quickly, chosen ones are frequently placed in seasons of waiting and reflection. During these seasons, it may feel as though nothing is happening. You may question whether your efforts matter or whether your dreams are realistic. Yet beneath the surface, something important is taking place. Your perspective is expanding. Your patience is deepening. Your awareness of your own strength is quietly forming. Rejection also removes distractions that might have kept you comfortable but stagnant. When everything goes according to plan, it is easy to settle into routines that limit growth. Rejection disrupts those routines and forces you to search for a new direction. That search becomes the space where purpose begins to reveal itself. The very moments that seemed like failures can become the turning points that guide you toward a path that aligns with who you truly are. Many people spend their lives trying to avoid rejection because it feels painful and humiliating. But those who are chosen often discover that rejection was part of their training. It built emotional endurance, sharpened their intuition, and helped them recognize the difference between temporary approval and genuine purpose. Every challenge strengthened a part of them that would later be necessary for the journey ahead. Over time, something begins to change inside you. The rejection that once felt like a judgment on your worth begins to look different. Instead of seeing it as proof that you are not enough, you start to see it as evidence that your path was never meant to follow the ordinary route. The spaces that rejected you were not capable of recognizing the direction you were meant to go. What they could not understand, they pushed away. The preparation continues quietly in moments when no one else is watching. In the late nights when you question everything, in the early mornings when you gather the strength to try again, and in the quiet decisions to keep believing in your purpose despite every reason to give up. Each of these moments adds another layer to the strength you are building. As this preparation unfolds, the rejection you once feared begins to lose its power. You realize it never had the authority to define your future. It was simply a phase of your journey, a necessary process that shaped your character and sharpened your vision. What once looked like a final verdict slowly reveals itself as the beginning of something far greater. There comes a moment in life when everything that once defined you begins to shift. The labels people placed on you, the assumptions they made about your abilities, and the quiet judgments that followed you for years start to lose their power. This moment does not always arrive with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Often it appears quietly, like a subtle change in the air that only you can feel at first. For the chosen one, this is the moment of divine reclassification, the point where the story that once seemed fixed begins to be rewritten. For a long time, you may have carried the weight of rejection. People may have overlooked you, doubted your intentions, or dismissed your potential. In their eyes, you may have seemed ordinary, unimportant, or even incapable of achieving anything meaningful. These labels can become heavy when repeated over time, especially when they come from people whose opinions once mattered deeply. But divine reclassification is the moment when those old labels lose their authority. The shift does not begin with the world noticing you. It begins within you. Something inside starts to awaken, a quiet realization that the story others believed about you was never the full truth. The experiences you once saw as setbacks start to appear differently. The rejection that once felt like defeat begins to look like a form of protection. The loneliness that once felt painful begins to reveal itself as a period of preparation. Divine reclassification is not simply about receiving recognition or success. It is about a deeper transformation of identity. It is the moment when you begin to understand that your purpose was never meant to be controlled by the opinions of others. For years, people may have defined your value according to their expectations, their comfort zones, or their limited understanding of your potential. When reclassification begins, those external definitions no longer hold the same power over your direction. One of the most powerful parts of this moment is that it often happens when you least expect it. After enduring long seasons of silence, you may begin to notice subtle changes. Opportunities that once seemed impossible begin to appear. People who once ignored you start to notice something different about your presence. Situations that used to feel like barriers begin to open in ways you could not have predicted. This shift can feel both exciting and unsettling. When your identity changes, it requires you to release the version of yourself that was shaped by rejection. For a long time, you may have adapted to being overlooked. You may have learned to stay quiet, to lower your expectations, or to hide your ambitions in order to avoid disappointment. Divine reclassification challenges those habits. It calls you to step into a new level of confidence and self-awareness that may feel unfamiliar at first. Many chosen ones struggle during this stage because the mind often remembers the past more strongly than it believes in the future. Even when new doors begin to open, there may still be a voice inside that whispers the old stories of doubt. The difference now is that you start to recognize that voice as something temporary rather than permanent. You begin to see that your identity was never meant to remain limited by the experiences that once defined you. Another important aspect of divine reclassification is timing. The shift does not happen when people expect it. It does not follow the usual timeline of success or recognition. Instead, it arrives when the preparation is complete. Everything you experienced before this moment contributed to the strength and awareness needed to carry what comes next. Without the lessons of rejection, the new opportunities might have arrived before you were ready to understand their true purpose. As this transformation continues, you may begin to notice that your perspective toward the past also changes. The people who rejected you no longer hold the same emotional influence over your thoughts. Instead of feeling anger or resentment, you begin to see their actions as part of a larger process that guided you toward your current path. The rejection that once felt personal begins to look like a necessary separation from environments that could not support your future. Divine reclassification also changes how you see yourself. Instead of searching for approval in every situation, you begin to move with a quiet confidence that does not require constant validation. You understand that your purpose does not depend on everyone agreeing with you. Some people will still misunderstand you, and some will still question your direction. The difference is that their opinions no longer determine your belief in your own calling. This moment also reveals how much you have grown through the journey. The person you are becoming is stronger, more aware, and more grounded than the person who first experienced rejection. The pain you endured created a deeper sense of empathy and understanding. The obstacles you faced developed patience and resilience that cannot be easily shaken. Divine reclassification is ultimately a turning point where the identity shaped by rejection gives way to the identity shaped by purpose. The story that once appeared to be about loss and disappointment begins to reveal itself as a preparation for something greater than you initially imagined. The labels of the past fade, replaced by a new understanding of who you are and why your path unfolded the way it did. Stepping into a new identity is rarely easy, especially after spending so much time carrying the weight of rejection. When you have lived through seasons where people doubted you, overlooked you, or dismissed your potential, it can feel unfamiliar to see yourself in a different light. Yet the journey of the chosen one always leads to a moment when the past version of your identity can no longer contain who you are becoming. This is the stage where you begin to step into your new identity with awareness and courage. For a long time, your sense of self may have been shaped by how others treated you. The silence, the criticism, and the lack of recognition may have slowly built a narrative that suggested you were less capable or less important than you truly were. Over time, those experiences can create habits of self-doubt. You might hesitate to speak your ideas, question your abilities, or assume that opportunities are meant for others rather than for you. These patterns often remain even after the circumstances around you begin to change. Stepping into your new identity means learning to release those old patterns. It requires you to recognize that the person you were during the season of rejection is not the same person you are now. The challenges you faced built resilience, awareness, and depth that cannot be taken away. What once felt like weakness has quietly transformed into strength. What once felt like isolation has given you clarity about who you are and what you stand for. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformation is the realization that your value was never determined by how others perceived you. For years, people may have misunderstood your intentions or underestimated your potential. Their opinions were shaped by their own limitations, fears, and expectations. When you step into your new identity, you begin to see that their perspective was never the final authority over your life. This shift changes the way you move through the world. Instead of seeking constant approval, you begin to trust your own intuition. You become more comfortable expressing your thoughts, sharing your ideas, and standing firmly in your beliefs. The hesitation that once held you back starts to fade because you understand that your voice has meaning and purpose. At the same time, stepping into your new identity does not mean becoming arrogant or disconnected from your past. The experiences that shaped you remain an important part of your story. They remind you of the journey you traveled and the lessons you learned along the way. Rather than erasing the past, your new identity allows you to view it from a place of strength and understanding. Many chosen ones also discover that stepping into this new identity attracts both support and resistance. Some people will recognize the growth in you and celebrate your transformation. They will see the strength and authenticity that developed through your experiences. Others may feel uncomfortable with the change because it challenges the version of you they once believed was permanent. When someone who was once overlooked begins to rise with confidence and clarity, it can disrupt the expectations that others formed in the past. This is why confidence becomes an essential part of your new identity. Confidence does not mean believing you are perfect or never making mistakes. It means understanding that your worth does not disappear when challenges appear. It means trusting that the path you are walking has meaning even when not everyone understands it. Another important part of stepping into your new identity is embracing responsibility. Being chosen for a greater purpose often comes with expectations that go beyond personal success. Your experiences have given you insight that others may still be searching for. The resilience you developed can inspire people who are currently facing the same struggles you once endured. Your journey becomes more than a personal story, it becomes a source of guidance and encouragement for others who feel lost or overlooked. This responsibility encourages you to continue growing rather than becoming comfortable with where you are. The identity of the chosen one is not static. It evolves as you learn more about yourself and your purpose. Each new challenge becomes another opportunity to expand your awareness and strengthen your character. As you move forward, you may also notice that the fear of rejection begins to fade. The same experiences that once felt devastating no longer have the same emotional power over you. You understand that rejection was never able to erase your purpose. It was simply a part of the process that helped reveal it. This realization frees you from the constant need to prove yourself to people who never truly understood your path. Stepping into your new identity also brings a sense of alignment between who you are inside and how you present yourself to the world. Instead of hiding your vision or minimizing your ambitions, you allow yourself to stand fully in your truth. The confidence that grows from this alignment creates a presence that others naturally notice. The journey of the chosen one continues to unfold as each step forward reveals new layers of purpose and understanding. The identity you are embracing now reflects the strength built through every challenge, every rejection, and every moment of persistence that shaped the person you have become.